Yo, what is going on, guys? It is District Trending here, bringing you guys this brand new video. Now in this video we are going to be going over a few reasons on why Lil Uzi Vert hasn't been releasing music lately to the public. If you guys are a Lil Uzi Vert fan, I highly suggest sticking with me throughout this entire video because you'll definitely want to hear these reasons on why he hasn't been releasing music, just in case you have been wondering why he hasn't been. Although this Lil Uzi Vert dry streak of music will be ending very soon though, as we're coming even closer to his release of Eternal Atake, which is his new album that he'll be releasing very soon. Now make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because once that album does drop, I'll for sure be making tons of videos talking about it, just because it'll definitely have some shocking meanings behind most of the songs, just because that's the type of person Lil Uzi Vert is. So make sure you guys do subscribe because we also are going to be giving away an iPhone X as well. So if you guys would like to enter in that, you guys must be subscribed to the channel, and then all you got to do is just leave a like on the video, and then you will be entered. Now Lil Uzi Vert has been very silent lately since the release of his last album, and most importantly EXO Tour Life. You guys are going to want to remember that because it will make a lot more sense later on in the video. But anyways, we will be going into full detail on why he's been so distant, so I hope you guys do enjoy. Anyways, let's just jump straight on into it. Now getting into the first and pretty much the overall main reason on why Lil Uzi Vert has been so silent lately in the music scene is just because of his label that he is signed to. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't the only reason on why he hasn't been making music. It's also for other few reasons that we will be talking about later on in the video, but Lil Uzi Vert is currently signed to a label just like a lot of music artists are, and pretty much his label doesn't even want him releasing music too often because apparently to them, releasing a few songs per year plus an album is much more beneficial than releasing a ton of projects throughout the year. And there's a few reasons on why they do that, and we're going to be talking about that right now. Now it might get a little bit complicated, but just try to listen and just, try your best to understand everything that I'm saying. Now it's obvious that Uzi can release really hit songs. Now even just take a look at EXO Tour Life as an example. That song won many awards and was nominated for many awards, and then plus it was streamed over 100 million times or something along the lines of that. And his label noticed that he can do that, and so they would rather want Uzi to work on music for say a month and then try to make that one really hit song. Then they will release that song and that song only, because then they only have to put promotional money behind one song instead of say 10 songs per month. Now it's all business to a lot of music labels, and they like to put their feelings and their money before the artists, which is also kind of disgusting to even think about. That's why you've seen many music artists basically stop making music at all just because they don't want to work for their label anymore and make them money, just because they have no interest at all in the actual artist. Now a few of you guys are most likely saying to yourself right now, if you make music and you're even signed to a label, you can just release it whenever because it's your music. But it honestly doesn't really work that way. Now when you sign to a music record label, you are practically signing all your freedom away when it comes to making music and just releasing music. Unless you get a really cool deal with a good record label, which is kind of unheard of nowadays. So now how record labels work is you'll usually sign to a yearly deal. Now this can be 1 to 10 years, it doesn't really matter. But typically people only sign for about 1 to 3 years. That's usually about the max to minimum is usually 1 to 3 years. Now when you sign to the record label, they will give you money up front, kind of like a signing bonus or whatnot. And usually the record label, every time they sign an artist, will be either looking to double or triple their original investment of the money that they gave the music artist. So say Lil Uzi Vert signed for $10 million to his label is looking to make at least $20 million back. So it seems pretty simple when you think about it that, but this is where it goes all bad for the situation like this for Uzi. His label doesn't want to put any money behind him to promote his music. So they gave him the $10 million. I don't know if it was actually $10 million. I'm just doing that to make it, a lot easier math-wise. So they gave him the $10 million. They don't want to put any more money into Uzi in promoting his music unless it's going to be a 100% sure hit song. So that's why he hasn't been releasing a ton of music lately. His label doesn't want to release any music just for the reason that they don't want to put out any more promotional money for it unless they know it'll be a huge hit. Which is kind of disgusting to think because how are you supposed to know if a song is going to be a huge hit or not if you don't just release it first? I'm pretty sure that's how most of the big artists get big nowadays, is they'll put out a song and if it gets big, it gets big. There's no reason on, there's no point really in vaulting all your music. Now Lil Uzi Vert has even said that himself on an Instagram live, is that he has so much music in a vault, literally sitting there doing nothing. and he's even got over 100 songs made with Playboi Carti, which we'll probably never even hear because of his music label. It's very complex about signing to a music label, and that's why a lot of people say don't sign to them. But usually when you get to like a certain point, you kind of do need a label, or you should just make your own. Now I'm pretty sure Uzi signed when he first put out Love Is Rage 2 or something along the lines of that. I'm not really 100% sure on when he signed, but I know he did want just probably that big check, that big signing bonus, which just, you know, takes over everybody's thoughts and feelings when they see that huge number on the piece of paper. Now getting into the second reason on why Lil Uzi Vert hasn't been releasing music much lately is just because he's been working on his new album, which will be releasing very soon. Now this album is called Eternal Atake, and I really hope will be one of Lil Uzi Vert's biggest albums yet, because we really need something big to happen from Lil Uzi Vert just because the lack of music that he's been releasing lately. Now obviously the lack of music isn't his fault. I'm pretty sure if he was in control of that, he would be releasing music every single week or something like that, but still, we need something really big from him. Now I still can't even believe myself with the amount of music that we've gotten from Lil Uzi Vert in the last year. It's almost been even just too little to even imagine, just because for such a big artist, the fact that he's not allowed to be releasing music is kind of just crazy to me, but you know, it's whatever, I guess. Now why this is a reason that he hasn't been releasing music too much lately is just because he's going to be wanting to save his best music for this album, so it'll do really good on music sales and streams when the album first comes out. Now I'd also imagine that he doesn't want to be releasing, you know, a project with a bunch of songs on it that we've already heard and listened to, because if I know some rappers will do that, they'll like release some music like half of their album before they even release the entire album. It kind of doesn't even make sense to me, but I'm pretty sure Lil Uzi Vert doesn't want to do that. That's why he also hasn't been trying to release little songs like that. So he's obviously not going to be wanting to release a bunch of songs that we've already heard and then put it all onto an album, so then when the album drops it won't be as exciting because we've already heard almost half of the album. Now a lot of music artists do this when they're working on a new album. They don't like to release much of the project because then it'll just dull it down for the hype for when the album fully releases. But then there's also that weird select few of rappers that do that. Now let me know what you guys think down below in the comments of this. Are you guys going to be copying Lil Uzi Vert's new album titled Eternal Atake when it comes out? Just because I know 100% I will be, just because he is one of my favorite music artists to date, and because I really do love his flow when it comes to music. He's just something really special about his flow that I love. I've also been craving some new music from him, so I'm kind of curious if you guys have been too. Now getting into the last and final thing that we have on our list for today's video is going to be why Lil Uzi Vert hasn't been releasing music lately, and that's just because of the fact that he's been on tour with many music artists and just doing live shows by himself lately. Now going on tour for any artist and just performing live in concert takes a lot out of music artists. I don't know how many of you guys have ever watched like a behind the scenes of artists getting ready for a concert, but it's pretty crazy the things that they have to go through just to get everything ready and to even get to the venue. Not only do they need to remember all the lyrics of their like 15 to 25 songs when they're performing, but they also got to remember such like little things that, you know, is like just getting the fans hyped up and entertained, to even jumping around and doing like dances and things along the lines of that, and even something as little as just staying hydrated. Some of the rappers have said that that's like a very important thing that a lot of people do forget to do when they're performing live, is staying hydrated. It's probably a lot of pressure, especially when also performing in front of like tens of thousands of people, so you really got to give it to the music artists that are performing live all the time and going on tour every 6 months. Not even just performing would be stressful, but also the traveling. Like, could you guys imagine having to wake up to do a show in Boston, and then once that show is done, flying over to Canada to do a show in Toronto, and then waking up after that show's done, going back to the US and doing other things? Like, it's probably a lot of work, I would have to imagine, and especially for someone who doesn't like traveling, it'd probably be the worst time ever. Lil Uzi Vert has been doing a lot of shows lately, especially in the last like 6 or so months. He is going to be coming over here to Canada, so I am going to be going to his show. I'm pretty sure he's with G-Eazy, YB and Namir, and somebody else. I can't remember who the other person is, but I will be going to that show for sure. It is pretty interesting though how much time rappers do spend on the road. Usually they're on tour for months on end, and it's pretty crazy about like how the things they have to go through. Like Lil Skies just finished up his tour not too long ago, and he got sick a lot. Like he had a lot of like health issues going on and even had to go to the hospital a few times for his health issues. So it is pretty crazy. But anyways guys, I am going to be ending the video there. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Anyways guys, it has been District Trending and I'm out. Peace.